trying to redirect a pass. Clark. Oh my! From Schenectady! Clark.
Caitlin Clark stepped onto that court like she owned the whole building, like every inch of hardwood had her name on it. And then it happened. Something that made even the biggest stars in the league stop cold. Every eye in the arena locked in. Every heartbeat felt stuck in place. One question floated heavy in the air. Was this the exact second a new era in women's basketball kicked the door open? In just a few electric minutes, she didn't just play the game, she took control of it. She dictated the pace, broke down the defense, and made legends pause and really look. This wasn't just about buckets and box scores. It was about confidence under pressure, perfect timing, and fearless energy. It was a raw glimpse at what separates a once-in-a-generation talent from everybody else watching from a distance.
A sold-out crowd today at the Barclays Center for the New York Liberty's first home game of the season, and with rookie sensation, the Indiana Fever.
The stage was wild. The Indiana Fever were up against the undefeated New York Liberty, a squad that had been running through the league like it was a checklist. The Liberty weren't just winning, they were dominating. Meanwhile, the Fever were still fighting for respect, trying to prove they belonged in serious conversations.
Clark on her return.
I feel good. I thought my rotation.
On paper, this matchup looked routine. Another smooth win for New York, another mark in the win column. But for Indiana, this was the test that could flip everything. And right in the center of that storm stood Caitlin Clark, fresh off an injury comeback. Questions followed her everywhere. Could she get back to her rhythm? Could she handle the spotlight? Could she rise when the pressure got heavy? The energy in the arena felt tight, like a playoff game. Underdog versus powerhouse. Hope versus dominance. Then the moment cracked open. Clark caught the ball on the right side.
She's a top 5 player in the WNBA, and Caitlin Clark has received a lot of...
Not at the three-point line, not in some perfect shooting pocket. This was deep. Logo range, the kind of spot where most players hesitate or pass it off. Not her. She scanned the defense in a split second, saw the tiniest opening, and without flinching, she pulled up from near midcourt and launched it. No doubt, no fear, just pure confidence. The ball flew high, hanging in the air so long it felt unreal. The crowd held its breath. And then, splash, clean through the net. Gainbridge Fieldhouse exploded. The roar shook the building like something historic had just been stamped into memory. But the craziest part? It wasn't just the fans losing their minds.
Clark will loft it up there and swish it in with a three.
A long three by Clark.
Breanna Stewart, one of the most decorated and respected stars in the WNBA, froze for a second. She didn't complain. She didn't roll her eyes. She smiled. She shook her head.
Kelsey Mitchell's always been a bucket, and her semifinals debut was the most prolific in WNBA history.
Her expression said everything without a single word. I see you. You're for real. Welcome to greatness. When someone at that level reacts like that, it's not hype. It's acknowledgement. It's a quiet nod that says the future just showed up. Within hours, that clip was everywhere. Social media went wild. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Replays on repeat, breakdowns, stunned reactions. ESPN kept running it back like it was a championship moment. Even LeBron James chimed in, tweeting about it and pushing the moment beyond just one league. That shot crossed boundaries. It wasn't just a highlight. It was a statement the whole basketball world felt. Analysts started debating fast. Commentators leaned forward in their chairs. Some said she might already be a generational talent. Others pushed it further, asking if Caitlin Clark could be the best player on the planet, male or female. And this wasn't empty hype talk. This wasn't garbage time drama. This was a second-year player, fresh off injury, staring down the league's best team and refusing to shrink. She didn't just take a deep shot. She made a declaration. Indiana's 102-88 win over the Liberty wasn't just another regular season victory. It was a loud message. The Fever weren't just participating anymore. They had arrived.
Yeah, the Colson villain who was in Vegas won some championships.
And Clark? She stamped superstar status in bold ink. Her confidence wasn't reckless. It was calculated. Her skill wasn't flashy for attention. It was lethal and precise. That night didn't just change a scoreboard. It shifted how people talked about her. It forced respect from veterans. It made legends nod. It made critics quiet down. Caitlin Clark didn't just hoop. She announced an era, and the basketball world had no choice but to watch it unfold.
Crowd chanting defense. All 18,000 of them. Kick to the corner. Lexi Hull.
And what happened after that logo shot mattered just as much. A lot of players would have cruised after a moment like that. They'd ride the highlight, let the crowd energy carry them, maybe ease up. Not her. That deep three wasn't the peak of her night. It was just the spark. She kept attacking, kept reading the defense, kept making plays like she had something personal to prove. That shot wasn't the ending. It was the warning sign that something bigger was building. That logo shot, that was just the appetizer. Caitlin Clark didn't celebrate and cool off. She flipped a switch. She used that moment as pure momentum, as loud proof that she belonged right there on that stage. You could see it in her eyes. That shot didn't just boost her confidence, it unlocked something in the whole squad. The Fever stopped playing like a team hoping to hang around. They started moving like a team expecting to win. The energy shifted fast. Clark kept attacking the rim, kept zipping passes to open teammates, kept making those smart, winning plays that serious teams rely on. Every possession felt sharp, focused, intentional. Her vibe spread through the roster like electricity. Players who looked tight early suddenly looked loose and fearless. Meanwhile, the Liberty, undefeated, confident, walking in with swagger, started looking uncomfortable.
5 games with the injury, the quad, keeping Caitlin Clark on the sidelines, but Trevor, she was back.
Their defense, which had shut down opponents all season, couldn't solve the Clark problem. Every adjustment they tried, she cracked it. They pressed her at the perimeter. She drove straight to the cup. They sagged back to stop the drive. She launched another deep shot without hesitation. They sent double teams. She calmly hit the open teammate for an easy bucket. It was like watching a masterclass in real time. Competitive game on paper, but on the floor, it felt like a clinic, and Clark was running it. The crowd fed off every move. Each bucket brought a louder roar. Every defensive stop felt heavier. The building buzzed like it was late June, not the regular season. You could feel momentum sliding away from New York with every sharp pass and confident shot. It wasn't random. It was controlled chaos. And the wild part?
Star players Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart of the New York. She is a three-time WNBA champion.
Her impact wasn't just about the numbers, even though the stat sheet looked strong. It was the way she carried herself. Calm, direct, talking to teammates, calling things out, playing aggressive but never reckless. There's a maturity in her game that doesn't match her short time in the league. She moves like someone who's been here before, like someone who's felt this pressure 100 times. Even though she's still early in her pro journey, she plays with veteran poise mixed with fearless edge. That combo is rare. Most young players need years to build that mental toughness. Clark looks like she's been wired with it from day one, sharpened during those high-pressure college battles where every night felt like a headline. But this wasn't a solo act. Her presence lifted everyone around her. Teammates who might have hesitated on big shots suddenly let it fly with confidence. The floor spacing opened up because defenders had to respect Clark from anywhere past half court. Rotations on defense got tighter. The communication got louder. The hustle doubled. That's what elite players do. They raise the temperature for everybody else. We've seen it before from the greats. And now Clark is showing that same ability to elevate a whole system, not just her own stat line. Still, blowing out an undefeated team 102-88, that takes a full squad locked in. While Clark grabbed the headlines, this was a team dismantling of one of the toughest teams in the league. The Fever didn't just win, they controlled the narrative from start to finish. Kelsey Mitchell stepped up in a major way. After a quiet first quarter, she found her groove, and once she did, it was serious trouble. She dropped 22 points, but it wasn't just about the total. It was about timing. Every time the Liberty tried to steady themselves, Mitchell answered back. A deep three, a slick drive, a tough finish at the rim. Momentum killer after momentum killer. Her ability to heat up in bursts is dangerous, and that night, she had something ready for every defensive look New York threw at her. If they crowded her, she slipped past. If they sagged, she let it fly. No hesitation. The chemistry between Clark and Mitchell stood out heavy. They weren't just sharing the backcourt, they were feeding off each other's rhythm. When defenders swarmed Clark, Mitchell made them regret it. When attention shifted toward Mitchell, Clark sliced through the gaps. It was a constant pick-your-poison situation. That kind of balance is what serious contenders build around. No ego, no forcing shots, just smart reads and shared purpose. They weren't fighting over who got the spotlight. They were breaking down a defense that had shut down everybody else all season. And by the final buzzer, it wasn't just about one viral logo shot anymore. It was about teamwork clicking at the perfect moment. It was about confidence spreading across the roster. It was about an undefeated powerhouse walking in confident and walking out stunned. Sydney Colson came off the bench and brought exactly the type of spark championship teams live for. No hesitation, no easing into the game. She stepped on the floor and instantly made things happen. The kind of hustle that doesn't always scream from the stat sheet, but wins games quietly and consistently. She drew fouls. She crashed the boards like every rebound owed her money. She dove on the floor for loose balls without thinking twice. That energy, it lifts teammates and wears opponents down fast. Colson didn't need a huge scoring night to leave her mark. Her impact showed up in grit, awareness, and pure basketball IQ. Coaches dream about players like that. Selfless, sharp, always locked in. And then came the three-point storm. The Fever didn't just shoot well, they made franchise history, 17 three-pointers. Let that sink in. That's not luck, that's preparation meeting execution. They knocked down shots at a wild 48% from deep, which is elite at any level. On the other side, the Liberty struggled hard, hitting just 20% from beyond the arc. That gap wasn't small. That was strategic domination. Indiana clearly studied the scouting report, spotted the weak spots in New York's perimeter defense, and attacked it without mercy. Every open look came with confidence. No second guessing. If you were open, you fired, and they trusted each other to do it. Lexi Hull's night captured that confidence perfectly. Early on, she missed a couple of easy layups, shots she normally finishes. That could have rattled her. It didn't. She stayed steady, stayed aggressive, and found her rhythm from deep, drilling 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. That's mental toughness. That's maturity in the middle of pressure. Instead of shrinking after mistakes, she stretched the floor even more, and that forced the Liberty defense to guard every inch of the court. No hiding, no sagging off. With Hull knocking down shots, Clark and Mitchell had even more room to operate. The spacing was clean, crisp ball movement, constant cuts, smart screens. It wasn't chaotic, it was calculated. This wasn't hero ball. This was full team execution at a high level. Everybody contributed, everybody defended, everybody trusted the system. And when the buzzer sounded, it was clear this win meant more than just one mark in the standings. This felt like a shift. Before this game, most of the talk around the league was about the Liberty's dominance. Could anyone stop their undefeated run? Was Breanna Stewart heading toward another MVP season? Where exactly did the Fever fit in the bigger picture? Those were the storylines. One night changed that. Clark and the Fever flipped the entire conversation. Suddenly people weren't asking if Indiana could compete. They were asking if they might be real contenders. Clark wasn't just a rising name anymore. She was becoming the headline, the most electric player to watch, the one drawing new eyes to the league. And that brought up bigger questions. How do you measure a second-year player who's already performing like a seasoned star? What does it say when someone returning from injury steps up and controls a game against the league's top team? Does the old wait your turn mindset even apply when a player is clearly ready right now? Those aren't easy conversations. They challenge the usual timeline people expect in pro sports. Normally, players take years to grow into this kind of role. Clark's rise suggests something different. Sometimes elite talent mixed with fearlessness speeds up the process. Sometimes confidence shows up early and refuses to wait. Her willingness to take big shots, to trust her range, to stay aggressive in tense moments. That's not common at this stage. It points to something rare, something special. A player who might already be operating in space most athletes never reach. And the reaction online proved just how big this moment was. Social media lit up again. Engagement numbers shot through the roof. Fans from all backgrounds were talking about it, not just dedicated WNBA supporters, mainstream sports fans, NBA followers, casual viewers, even international audiences tuning in to see what the noise was about. That kind of crossover buzz matters. When LeBron James tweets about a WNBA player, that's not small. That pulls attention from every corner of the sports world. It brings new viewers, new debates, new respect. And in that moment, it became clear. This wasn't just a big win for the Fever. It was a spotlight moment for the entire league. When ESPN starts breaking down a regular season game like it's the finals, that means something. When social media algorithms blast WNBA highlights to millions of screens, that's not random. That's momentum. These are the moments that grow the sport in real time. And right now, Caitlin Clark is turning into must-see TV. She's pulling in viewers who didn't even plan to watch women's basketball, and suddenly they're locked in. The respect she's getting from established stars like Breanna Stewart carries serious weight. Players know what's real. They can tell the difference between hype and true skill. So when someone at Stewart's level shows love and recognition, it sends a loud message across the league. It says, this isn't forced excitement. This isn't media noise. This is earned greatness. That kind of validation can't be faked. You don't buy it. You earn it through performance, through consistency, through moments so cold they make legends pause mid-game. Clark has already stacked a few of those moments, and she's barely getting warmed up. So now everybody's asking the same thing. Where does she go from here? And here's the part that should make the league nervous. She might just be starting. That Liberty game wasn't some lucky night where everything bounced her way. It wasn't a fluke. It was a clear display of who she is. Fearless, skilled, clutch, and built for the spotlight. The injury that sidelined her earlier could have slowed everything down. It could have shaken her rhythm. Instead, she came back sharper, more focused, more determined. That kind of mindset mixed with her talent makes her a serious problem for any defense. Now teams have to guard her the second she crosses half court. Her range stretches to the logo. She can create for teammates. She pushes the pace in transition. And when the game tightens up late, that clutch instinct kicks in without hesitation. The Fever organization has to love what they're seeing. Building around a player like Clark gets a whole lot easier when she's already producing at this level. There's no waiting around for potential to maybe turn into something. She's delivering right now. Even more impressive, the chemistry forming around her. Teammates understand their roles. They play confident when she's on the floor. That type of cohesion usually takes years to develop. The fact that it's already showing up suggests this team isn't just thinking about one good season. They could be setting up something long-term. That franchise record 17 three-pointers wasn't just a flashy stat. It showed a clear identity. Fast pace, smart spacing, heavy three-point attack. That's modern basketball. That's the style that wins championships in today's game. Indiana isn't guessing. They're evolving. At this point, the question isn't whether Caitlin Clark can be great. She already answered that. The real question is, how high is her ceiling? We might be watching someone who could shape women's basketball for the next decade. She has the talent to become the face of the league, the kind of player who turns casual viewers into loyal fans, the kind of athlete who inspires the next wave of young girls to pick up a ball and believe big. Opportunities like this don't show up often, and it's getting clearer by the game that Clark has both the ability and the mindset to seize it. That Liberty performance wasn't just about skill, it was about timing, confidence, fearlessness under pressure. The league should be excited. She's bringing attention, energy, and new eyeballs to the game. Ratings climb when she plays. Online engagement spikes. Sports fans who never followed the WNBA are suddenly debating matchups and checking schedules. That kind of growth benefits everybody. More viewers mean more opportunities, more revenue, more spotlight for other stars in the league. A rising tide really does lift the whole scene. But beyond numbers and business talk, here's the simple truth. She's just fun to watch. There's joy in her game, boldness in her shot selection, creativity in her passes. You tune in because you don't know what she's about to try next, and you don't want to miss it. That's the type of player leagues dream about. Elite talent mixed with entertainment. Competitive fire mixed with authenticity. The lights eventually dimmed at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, but the energy from that night didn't fade. One shot, one statement performance, and the basketball world had to stop and acknowledge something rare. Caitlin Clark didn't just win a game. She shifted expectations. She raised the standard. She made even seasoned veterans take notice and wonder what's coming next. Now the pressure flips. It's not about whether she can keep this up. It's about how the rest of the league responds. How do you guard that range? How do you slow that confidence? How far can one player push a team, a city, a league before the whole sports world locks in? This story isn't wrapping up anytime soon. It's only just getting started.